All right, let's talk about cryptocurrency. You've seen the headlines, right? You've heard all about Bitcoin, and maybe you're sitting there wondering if you've missed out on some kind of digital gold rush. It's gotten a ton of media attention, but let's be honest, it's also wrapped up in a whole lot of complexity. So, in this explainer, we're going to peel those layers back and get to what's really going on. So yeah, you've heard the hype, but what is this stuff really? It feels like it's absolutely everywhere, but what are we actually talking about when we use the word cryptocurrency? Is it supposed to be money? Is it an investment? Or is it something totally different? That's the big question we're going to tackle.
Okay, first up, the new digital money. We're going from code to currency. To really get started, it helps to think of crypto as part of this bigger thing called fintech. You know, financial technology. Basically, it's a new kind of tech that's trying to shake up how we handle our money. It's like money, but it's born from computer code.
So here's the absolute first thing you have to get your head around. We are not talking about something you can hold in your hand. There's no coin, there's no bill. A cryptocurrency is a digital asset. It has value, sure, and you have the right to use it, but at the end of the day, it's nothing more than lines of digital code.
And yeah, on the surface, it might seem like it works just like regular money. You can use it to buy things, you exchange it for goods or services. But what's happening behind the scenes? The system powering it all is, well, it's completely different from anything we've ever used.
And that right there brings us to the biggest, most mind-bending difference of all. No bank, no problem. This is what people call the decentralized revolution. See, our traditional money runs through a central banking system. Cryptocurrency, it just gets rid of the bank completely.
Okay, so let's break this down, because this is where everything changes. With the system we're all used to, a traditional bank, everything is centralized. Think of it like one master notebook, the ledger, that the bank holds. They authorize everything, they're the single point of control. But with crypto, it's decentralized. There is no single point of control. Instead of one notebook, that ledger is copied and shared across a massive network of computers all over the world.
So you might be asking, well, how does anything get done without a bank? It's basically a three-step process. First, one user starts a transaction with another. Simple enough, but then, and here's the magic, the whole network of computers gets to work to verify it. They use something called a consensus mechanism, which is just a fancy way of saying they all have to agree that the transaction is legit. And once they do agree, boom, step 3. Every single copy of that ledger on the entire network gets updated. It's like the crowd is the authority.
And this distributed ledger system, that's its killer security feature. Just think about it for a second. With a normal bank, a hacker just has to break into one central server. But here, to cheat the system, you'd have to hack and change the record on every single computer on the network, all at the exact same moment. We're talking thousands, maybe millions of computers. It's practically impossible.
So this whole decentralized idea isn't just a neat security trick. It actually unlocks some really interesting possibilities. Let's look at the promise and potential here. The upside of getting rid of that central authority.
Okay, benefit number 1, reduced currency risk. Because crypto isn't tied to any single government or central bank, it's protected from certain kinds of chaos. You know, if a country's government falls apart or its bank collapses, that nation's money can suddenly become worthless. But a global, decentralized currency, it's kind of shielded from that kind of local disaster.
Next up, a benefit pretty much everyone can get behind: avoiding bank fees. I mean, think about it. When you cut out the middleman, the banks, the credit card companies, all the people who take a slice of the pie, your transactions should, in theory, get a lot cheaper. You're sidestepping all those typical fees.
And what about doing business globally? This is another big one. This system can make international transactions way, way easier. Imagine trying to send money across the world right now. You've got to deal with exchange rates, different bank holidays, waiting days for it to clear. With crypto, you could just send it. It's a much more direct and efficient way to connect with people anywhere on the planet.
Okay, but it's not all sunshine and roses. Of course not. For all the promise, we have to look at the other side of the coin: the risks and the lack of regulation. People call this the Wild West of finance for a reason. With all that freedom comes some pretty serious risks.
So what happens when nobody's in charge? Well, you get a huge lack of accountability. That's the first big risk. When there's no central government, no bank, no one governing the system, It becomes incredibly tough for law enforcement to track crime or to step in when things go sideways.
And this next one? This is a really big deal for anyone thinking of getting involved. There's basically no consumer protection. Think about it. If your bank account gets hacked, you have protections. You've got things like deposit insurance to help you get your money back. In the crypto world, that safety net just isn't there. If your digital wallet is hacked or you forget your password, your money could be gone. Just poof, forever. And there's no one you can call.
And here's the dark side of that privacy we talked about. The very same things that make it private, the anonymity, the difficulty in tracking transactions, also make it a perfect tool for crime. It makes it easier for people to get involved in things like money laundering, tax evasion, and other illegal deals, all because it's happening outside of the regular banking system.
And this uncertainty isn't just about crime. It's a global mess. There's no single rulebook for how to handle crypto. Just look at this breakdown. You've got China, which has taken a really harsh approach, even banning exchanges. Then you have Japan, which has gone the complete opposite direction and made it legal tender. And in the US, it's a total patchwork. It changes from state to state. The UK has yet another take, treating it as property, not actual money. All this inconsistency creates a super confusing and risky environment for everybody.
So all of this really brings us to a fundamental question, an identity crisis almost. What is cryptocurrency for? Is it supposed to be a currency, something you use to buy a coffee? Or is it really an investment, like a super high-risk, high-reward stock? It really has two faces.
And when you look at how people are actually using it, the answer becomes pretty clear. As a day-to-day currency, it's not doing so hot. Not many places accept it, its value swings wildly up and down, and fewer people are using it that way. But on the flip side, as an investment, it has absolutely exploded. That is the biggest reason people are involved today. They're trading it on exchanges, hoping to make it big.
This whole investment craze has even created a new way for crypto projects to raise money. It's called an initial coin offering, or ICO. Think of it as a crypto-style fundraiser. When a new project starts, supporters can buy into it early, and in return, they get these things called tokens. Now, the best way to wrap your head around an ICO is to compare it to something you might already know, a stock market IPO, or initial public offering. With an IPO, you buy actual shares of a company, and the whole thing is super regulated. With an ICO, you're buying tokens in a project, and, this is the key, it's almost completely unregulated. That's why they call you a supporter, not an investor, in the legal sense. It's a huge distinction.
And yeah, that little word supporter instead of investor, it carries some massive risks. First off, unlike a company's share, these tokens don't really have any built-in value at the start. There's no one in charge, no authority watching over them. This has created a total playground for scammers looking to trick people who are hoping to get rich quick. The potential for fraud is so high that places like China just went ahead and banned ICOs altogether back in 2017. So, that's where we stand. We're caught between these two extremes. Is it a revolutionary technology that could change finance forever? Or is it an unregulated, super risky asset that's just too wild to tame? Ultimately, the big question here isn't just about crypto. It's about the future of money itself. And what that future looks like, well, that's a story that's still being written.